Hi there, my name is Steve, this is TQA Weekly, and this week's question is water cooling worth it? If you have a computer of any kind, it needs some kind of cooling solution. Cooling solutions range from heat sinks to OEM fans, aftermarket fans that periodically include heat pipes, and of course, water cooling, which comes in 3 flavors, all-in-one, soft tubing, and hard tubing. Fan coolers are the most common form of cooling solution for a computer and even a laptop. In most cases, there is a good reason for that. You see, they are more reliable, simpler to install, unless we're talking about a laptop, and of course, easier to maintain. Because of this, just about anyone can install an OEM or aftermarket cooler on a mainboard inside of their computer chassis without issue. And applying thermal paste is a lot more forgiving than most of you would think. Now, when it comes to water cooling though, it comes in 3 flavors. All-in-ones, soft tubing, and hard tubing. Soft tubing and hard tubing you can basically put in the same group. Let's talk about the all-in-ones. You know, the most common form of water cooling used by most people. It is a little bit more tedious to install. It uses fans, obviously, which obviously we know fans are far more reliable, except that water cooling also introduces another point of failure, the water pump. And the water pump is more likely to die than the fans are on those actual specific kits. You also have to have the space in your computer chassis in order to install them and be able and ready to read and follow instructions. Now, knowing all of this is good, but then there's also the fact that you have to remember, water cooling is fragile, especially radiators and connectors. At these points of the system, you can experience a leak. It is rare in an all-in-one, but it can happen. Now, if you're going to make your own water cooling solution from parts, like many YouTubers do online, you're going to have to look up every single part, all the instructions, and make sure everything's compatible at the same time. And it's also a good idea to make sure that you get some sort of review on each specific part just to be sure. And even after you're all done building and buying everything, a leak test is a very good idea. You see, an all-in-one might leak. A water cooling solution made by you, especially the first time around, is more likely to leak than you would think. Sure, everybody will experience some sort of mishap in their computer, but if you know what you're doing and you follow instructions and everything, you'll get across and you won't have killed anything by accident. Now, here's the thing though. Water cooling can look cool. Air cooling can also look cool now, especially with RGB. But there isn't much of a cooling advantage between air coolers and water coolers. A few degrees aren't going to brick a CPU or a GPU anytime soon. And water coolers dump all of the hot air into the room, whereas air coolers tend to keep it more inside of the box and shove it out the back, not heating the room as much. Air coolers actually cool down very fast once load is removed from them. Water coolers require more time to cool down, which means that they continue pumping hot air into the room long after whatever task you're doing has been terminated. And air coolers also cost a fraction of the price of water cooling, and newer models can be just as good as water coolers in the end. So like this episode if you like it, dislike it if you didn't, share with those you think can benefit from this, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions for topics, email me at ask@tqaweekly.com. Go to my website, tqaweekly.com, where you can do things like see this week's show notes, last week's show notes, every other show notes from every other episode before, find other ways of subscribing, and of course use the contact form to email me directly. And if you want to watch me play any video games that I like playing, go to twitch.tv/ZEDAXIS1981. I stream Friday morning from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m., Saturday from midnight to 3, and of course Sunday from midnight to 4. Waiting to see you there. Thank you for watching, and good night.